Hi traders, and Happy New Year to you all. This will be the commodity report, and we'll cover the usual natural gas, oil, copper, gold, silver, and uranium. So let's start. All right, natural gas. This is the natural gas chart that I've switched over to now. And if you've been watching me, you probably notice I've removed the labeling on this down wave here. I was expecting this to be a diagonal, so I had this labeled as 1, that was 2, this was 3, and I was looking for this to be a 4 and then come down for 5. But I've removed that because this wave here is just, it doesn't fit this whole wave. So, like I've been saying, it's either one of two things. This is either a 5-wave move, and I just miscounted somewhere in here, but this is a 5-wave move, and now they're going to be making a big correction, which is telling me natural gas is going way down, way under 2. Or this is still going to be a diagonal, but this whole piece was just like the A, this is the B wave, and then this whole thing was the C wave. And so that's 1. And then this is going to end up being 2, and then they'll come down for 3, 4, and 5. So either way, it doesn't matter what this all is. I still see more down. It's just a matter of trying to understand what the structure is going to be going down so that we have an idea of when it's done and possible targets will be. So breaking this piece down here that I thought was a 4, and I don't believe is a 4 anymore. So I still think that this first wave up was 3 waves, 1, 2, 3. And I still think that this is just a contracting flat here. 1, 2, 3. Then you had this 3-wave move, and then you had this 3-wave move, and now they made this running flat here. So that's 1, 2, 3. So I'm thinking that this is going to be just kind of channeling upwards for a while here, because I think this is going to be this 3-wave move. I think that's going to be A, and this 3-wave move, that's going to be B. And now they're in the C wave. And I think this is 1, that's 2. This is 1, 2, 3 for 3. So now I'm expecting them to come down for 4 and then still go back up one more time for the 5th wave of the C wave. But I don't believe if this happened, I don't think that's actually going to be all the correct. I think that'll just be the A wave actually. Get a B wave and then still one more up. So I think we're going to be in this range for a while. So now what I'm watching here though is this wave coming down. I want it to come down into this zone because this would make sense for, you know, if this is 3, this should be 4, and then that'll be 5 up there. But it almost looks like they're not even done with this wave. So if they come up, if they don't come down here, but they do break this on this chart, it's 266, whatever the high was today on your chart. Natural gas could be getting really bullish, because then this could all just be creating a really big impulse here, because this could be, instead of, I think it's 1, 2, 3, it could be that this is, oops, that's 1, 2, and then this is, they're creating like a big impulse here. This could be 1, 2, and then they're going up for a 3, 4, and a 5. So really going to be watching this to see how this reacts. It'd be nice if they would come down, because then I feel like I got a grasp of the pattern. But if this breaks up tonight and into tomorrow morning, like during the Europe session, if they break that high again, this is going to be a big impulse. And so then natural gas has got a lot more up to go. And so then definitely I could see this, if that's 1, then I think 2 is going to end up coming up, you know, at least 2.9, 3, 3.1, something like that. So it's kind of key to watch this wave right here on what they're going to do. If they do come down into this zone, I do think that's 4, and then they'll go up one more time for 5. And that'll complete, I think, it'll give you a 3-wave move, and that could be all the correction and then down, or they'll just correct one more time and still one more up. So we'll have to just take it wave by wave. But right now, I can't say either, give a clear wave count because I was expecting this to really start to sell off right here, but now they've gone back up, and I wasn't expecting that. If they would have just kept marching down, then that would have been perfect. So it's kind of a tricky spot right here for natural gas. I'd definitely be a seller up above here, or I'd be a buyer down in here for one more wave up. But you're right here, you're kind of no man's land, I think. So I think you got to wait for one of these to play out. Okay, that's natural gas. Oil. Now, before we get on to oil, so just as I've been showing, this is the EIA stocks of oil. I've been following this SPR, and a couple of weeks ago I showed how, for all of November, well, October and November, you were just stuck at this 351,274 level. And then all of a sudden they just started bumping it up by like 300,000 barrels and then another 300,000 barrels. And then this week, December 8th, that was that week they only moved it up 6,000 barrels. And so I was really wondering if that was it, that they were filling up the SPR again. But then they came back the following week and did 600,000 barrels. So for these 4 weeks now, that's an average of 300,000 each week. And then this week they did what is that, like 800,000 barrels. So the SPR is starting to get filled up, not at a huge rate or anything, but they're definitely filling it. So that is just something to watch, because that might be giving like a temporary floor for oil in this $70 range. So just something to be mindful that they're definitely filling it, and we'll see how long it lasts. Now oil today got a spike above 70, so maybe the SPR will they'll take a pause if oil gets back into the mid 70s here. But that's just the SPR. So anyway, oops, let me go back to the chart now. So anyway, so now when we look at the chart, I still see this move up is a 3-wave move. And then I think this was an expanding flat here. So they came down, expanding flat up, and then shut it down. But then it just quickly reversed. So I think you got 3 up, you got 3 down. So I'm looking for a 5-wave move up somewhere around 6 to 76. And if they do break 76.14, then we'll have to see, is this the start of like a diagonal, and this was 1, that was 2, and then this will be 1, 2, and that'll be 3, and then they'll go for 4, and then still 5. So we'll have to wait and see. That'll take a long time. But first I want to see, can it break, and if it does it come up in 3 waves or 5 waves? So I'm only interested in the buys for oil right now, and then 76 is a pretty important level to see what this all is, because I still think after this 5-wave move down, this is all going to be correction. How high they go, who knows? But I think it's all correction for still one more down. So, but I'd only be a buyer right here. Now, I don't know if I would be a buyer right here because this is a pretty strong move up. So at some point, I would think you're going to get at least a little bit of a correction and then resuming on up. So I think any pullback, definitely a good place to start looking for buys. All right, let's move on to the metals. Copper. Okay, copper. So it looks to me like they're making a running flat here because we had this 5-wave move up. 3 down. I think this is just 1, 2, and then ending diagonal 3. So ABC for B. And then this was, I think, a diagonal down. So, and they came right into this perfect, not this zone, the green zone. Really perfect place for the running flat to end at. So I think this is going to be the look. Come on. There. So this is all correction, and so now I'd only be looking for buy setups. You know, you got a strong reaction. So just like oil, I don't know if, you know, you could start legging in. You know, I think that at some point there's going to be a, you know, the pullback and then exploding up. But yeah, I'd only be looking for buy setups to go at least break that high. We'll have to see the reaction when it breaks that high, because I think that this was all correction. So I think copper's in a position to go and break that high, that 4355 high. This is on the futures contract. So now, you know, who knows what pattern this will take. I mean, it could just be that this will be like an A wave, then they'll create a B wave, and then they'll go, you know, as opposed to making a big impulse. So I want to see the reaction when they break 397, but for copper, I'm only looking for buy setups. Gold, all right, so gold really sold off here. And let me go to a 1 hour chart here. So far, what I see, all I see is just this ABC up, and then I think there's an ABC. I don't even know if this C wave is done, but so for right now, it's just 3 waves. And so you're kind of, I'm favoring up. And so because they're doing ABC and then ABC, it could be that this is going to be a diagonal. So this was 1, and then either that's 2, or they might come down one more time for 2. And then they'll resume up in 3 ways for 3 and go down for 4 and then back up for 5. But I'm favoring up. But because this is corrective, you know, just 3 waves, I mean, it is possible that this price actually comes down one more time, you know, and they're going to make a much bigger correction. So maybe like that was A, this ABC, that was B, and then this ABC, maybe they're going to come down in the diagonal. Maybe that was 1, they'll come up for 2, 3, 4, and a 5 before they go up. So there is that possibility, because this wasn't an impulse. If it was an impulse, then I'd feel much better saying, yeah, they're just going to go up. But it could be that this is all just going to be an ABC correction and then still one more up. But I'd still only be looking for buys, because this pattern coming up looks like they need to break the high. So only looking for buys, but there is a potential that they do come down one more time, break. They don't even need to break 1972, but come down here. But then if they do, that's the great place to buy. So yeah, this is, I think, an interesting spot, if nothing else, you know, and if you can withstand holding it, if they do come down one more time, it's not a bad place to start buying here. Now silver is doing something I was not expecting. So I thought this was a running flat, and then they were going to go and take that 26 level out. But obviously it does not look very good here. So they went up, just like in gold, they just went up in 3 waves. And so far all I see really is I got this A, B, C. Now it's a very deep, so it is possible that, you know, it's going to be a diagonal, and that was 1, this was 2, and then they'll go up for 3, and then down for 4, and then go back up for 5. But that has to prove itself. So obviously those are your 2 key levels right there. So 2460 and 2249. One of those have to break to really give a clear indication. Obviously, because they're so close to this 2249, that it's doesn't look so good. So if they do break 2249, then obviously this isn't a running flat, and I'll have to revisit. This still looks only like 3 waves here. And then this was very sharp. So now I guess the other possibility, yeah, I forgot about this one. Because this was a W, X, Y, this could be just a 3-wave correction. 1, 2, and even if this was 3, it would be like another WXY. And then this would all be, that would just be the X wave, you know, because WXY, and that would be like W, and then this would be X, and then they still could do this 1, 2, 3. You know, so you'd have WX, actually it'd be like WXY, X, and then 3 waves down, and this would be the Z wave, and then they're going to go. So that possibility does exist, and so if they do break 2249, then I think for sure that they're coming all the way down. I guess they don't have to necessarily break 2066, but they'll probably get pretty close, if not breaking it, and it'll be in 3 waves, and so we'll have to watch how this plays, because so far it would be a 1 and a 2, so this could really come screaming down here. So yeah, so these are the 2 key levels. 2249, they break that, and then I think they're visiting 2066. If it does literally have to reverse like right now, and it does break 2460, then I think they're making a diagonal, and that was 1, 2, and then they're going to come up for 3, 4, and a 5. So those are the key levels to watch. But on a bigger picture, this is all correction. So even if they do come down one more time, it will go up. It's just going to take a lot longer than I was thinking. So watch that 2249 level. All right, uranium. All right. So finally it came down into this zone. So definitely tells me that this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave pattern now is done, and that's the 3rd wave, and now they're coming down for the 4. And if we zoom in a little, all I see so far is just 3 waves, 1, 2, and 3, and you don't have any divergence, and this was really strong, and I don't think that's going to be, you know, it's 3 ways, so it could be enough for the correction. But given when you really zoom out at this, like this big 5-wave move, I doubt that this is going to be all your correction, and then it resumes right back up. I think they're going to make a little bigger correction. So I think this 3-wave move, that's A. I think they're going to go up for 3 waves, for a B, come down one more time. Somewhere, you know, around 26, you know, 63, break it or not, it doesn't matter. But come down sharp, and that'll be your 4, and then they'll go and take out 3028. So, you know, buying right here, if you are a short-term trader, wouldn't be a bad idea, because I do believe there'll be a B wave coming, but you know, you could probably get a pretty healthy bounce here pretty soon if it's not already in. The low is in. So you can play for a short-term trade or just buy and hold, knowing, but you got to know that it still might come down one more time before it goes back up. All right, that's the commodities. Hope that helps. Thanks for watching. Join us in Discord, and I will see you in the next video.